Hello and welcome to the Performance Racing League. You are joined back for the first race of Season 12, Round 1 in Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. And you are joined alongside by the one and only Hoop. How are you doing, Hoop?
I'm very well, very excited to get another season underway of PRL.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It feels like it's been a long time coming. I think it's been, a month or so between seasons. But loads of drivers already out, so I feel like they share that excitement to get back out there on the track. Quite a few new drivers as well. A few old ones coming back as well, so welcome back MMR Ray. I think Martin in the McLaren, he's new to me. Who else? I think Lord Rab's been around for a little bit longer. Free Guy, new. Lawake, I think they'll have to tell me how to pronounce these names. He seems new as well. So it's nice to see a mix of new and old alike.
Yeah, looks like Martin joined the server today and hopped right into the first race he possibly could. So it sounds like he impressed on his time trial. So very excited to see how he does in his first taste of action.
Yeah, and the first thing I'm seeing is Rusty almost getting held up on his very first run of this season. That was interesting, but yeah, Rusty is the first one on a flying lap. So I'm just on board as he goes through this interesting chicane section. Now in sector 2, difficult right-hander coming up. It's downhill, so easy to lock up, easy to overrun as well. Slightly locks up the front right, shifts early up to 4th, a little bit of understeer, and then nice and wide on the exit. And then down now through Pouon. Don't want to touch the inside curb too much. A nice correction to avoid that. And lifts off a little bit. Nice sighter so far. And then through this interesting section, I always remember the race between, I think it was Raikkonen and Hamilton in wet conditions around here. Raikkonen spinning out on that exit, but nice and controlled by Rusty as he makes his way through onto what is kind of really the back straight. Although when it's raining, it certainly doesn't feel like a straight at all. It's extremely difficult. So full throttle. A lot of battery still remaining. Could perhaps switch to full overtake mode, which he just does on command. Braking now into the very difficult cambered chicane, a traditional bus stop chicane, nice and controlled on that throttle, and makes his way across the line with a 1:44.7. So Martin, a new driver, already setting a 1:43.2. Just on board now with MMR Ray. Again, welcome back to PRL. And for those who are new to the stream as well, welcome. Thank you for joining. And to those who have been here before, welcome back. And as always, if you want to message or comment, please feel free. And we'll endeavour to get back to you. So Ray with a little bit of pace to find, but pretty standard for a first lap. Always a bit of pace to find, often a side to lap, figuring things out a little bit. I know Mr. Bean is a driver to watch, very rapid towards the end of last season. So he set a 1:43.3, which is a great opening lap. So already a lot of competition at the top, it seems.
And he's on the mediums too, so he's setting
Wow.
that caliber of time on the medium tire. So plenty of pace to find still for him.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. It'd be interesting to see who will be competing with Mr. Bean at the top. GK Bass, of course, the previous winner of PRL, is sort of taking a season off, it seems. So yeah, Mr. Bean, it would be good to see what sort of competition he has at the top of the order. Just following Marchena in the AlphaTauri, whatever the name for them is now. A 1:44.7. That's a great opening lap. What are they called now? Is it Visa Red Bull Cash App?
Yeah, we'll shorten it to V Carb, I believe the preferred nomenclature is.
Thank you.
Piggybacking off of something earlier that you said, I don't know if we had mentioned it. This is the first season that we've smashed all of our tiers together on Sunday, so we're getting a bit of everything when it comes to pace this season. A lot of Tier 1 guys returning, but also a lot of Tier 2 guys making the jump because Tier 2, as we know it, doesn't exist for this season. So could be a little bit of a spread out field, but it'll be interesting to see how the top of the Tier 2 competes in Tier 1. So.
Yeah, great shout out. And I think also this season there are a lot less, let's call them wild card races with extra rules. It's much more simplified. So most of the races this season will just be a short qualifying session followed by a 50% race distance race. I think there's one sprint race in Vegas and maybe a mediums band in Azerbaijan, Baku.
Yep, and I think we have a 100% race this season as well. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice blend. I'm following Tar Heels, but I think he's going into the pits actually, so I'm going to change and I'm going to follow Noob because he's not yet set a time and I'm sure this is the Ferrari's opening hot lap. Slight deviation. I don't know if you saw Carlos Sainz's pole lap yesterday.
Yes, it was. He is quite the pace.
It's insane to think a driver of that ability, setting those lap times, is ending up in a sort of a midfield, lower tier team. Really, you have to feel for him a little bit, but yeah, what
it just shows the caliber of competition or the caliber of driver that we have in Formula One right now, where someone as good as Carlos Sainz does not have a seat for a top tier team next year.
Yeah. Well, Noob is only on 5% battery, so that's a problem. I think he needs to switch. Someone needs to tell him to turn overtake mode off. Turn overtake mode off. But he did set a purple sector 2 using overtake mode. But I think now his lap's going to be compromised, unfortunately. Okay, maybe he's listening. He's gone down to medium. Squirming his way through that final chicane. Making his way down. What lap time will he set? It did look very good. A 1:44.4. What a lap. Yeah, great lap. Good potential to set even faster, I would say, based on that.
Yeah, seems like at least in the first couple of laps that we've seen, guys have been draining all the battery by the time they get to the bus stop. So being super aggressive with the battery and the deployment around this circuit.
Yeah, I think drying up your battery before the bus stop, makes sense. But I don't think you'd want to empty it before you even get onto the back straight. So yeah, I think that maybe perhaps that's what he's trying to learn. Is exactly what you've said. Just get that little bit of battery management. It's clever though. It's something I should do a lot more. I'm just following now with Leweke. I need to find out how to say his name, but either way, welcome to PRL. It's your first ever hot lap. No pressure. Everyone's watching you.
I believe he may have been in Tier 2 last season, or at least reserved for a little bit. So.
Oh, okay. Great to see. Yeah, I think with the tiers merging, I know there's some people that are concerned that the slower drivers will struggle. I mean, yes, it's no different to other leagues where you've got a slight spread of pace. I think the main thing is, if your mentality is that you have to win every race you attend, that's going to be a problem. But if you're just out there to have fun and race like-minded people, there's going to be people with similar pace throughout the grid. There's not just going to be one person just behind by themselves, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's always somebody to race in this league. There's always somebody with similar pace to you. It's unrealistic for everybody to be fighting for first place, but those little battles throughout the field are going to be really, really nice this season.
Yeah, and apologies, there's a flashing yellow flag all the time, it seems. I don't know if that's just on my screen, but it seems a bit bugged. Oh, slightly squirmed from Leweke, and he aborts that lap. He looks at the clock and he thinks, no, I would rather try again later. So let's hop over to Joe, a great driver from Tier 2. He's going to have a lot more competition this season. Let's see how he fares. He's just making his way across the start-finish line at a 1:43.5. So I think something tells me Joe has been practicing in the off-season. Good pace.
Yeah, and even when he was reserving last season in Tier 1, getting the extra practice in, he showed some real pace, being able to fight through the upper midfield. So really interested to see how he does over a full season in Tier 1, or the Sunday tier.
Yeah. So now on board with Mr. Bean. The way he just attacked Puon and Radion on Puon, I think, was insane. Full commitment. This is looking like a very rapid lap. Very, very aggressive and very good use of the full width of the track as well. Very early on the throttle, handling the traction issues sort of as they come. He could well be on for a 1 second gain. So this looks to me to be perhaps the time to beat for pole. Wow, the way he rotates the car through there, very controlled and staying in third gear. Early on the throttle, good battery management. 1:42.1 is the lap time. Great lap.
I just smashed every lap that had gone up on the board so far. Just over a second faster than anybody else right now that's on the circuit.
If ever there was a statement of intent, that has to be one there. 4 minutes and a half left in this qualifying session, this one and only qualifying session. So this will determine the order for the race that follows very shortly after. So on board with Martin, can he respond? Definitely improving. Will it be enough though? That is the question. Currently looking set to potentially break into the 142s. Yeah, obviously use second gear through there, not third gear, so slight difference there. It's not quite as confident as Mr. Bean, but a 1:42.7, that is a terrific lap time. So Rusty did set a 1:44.2, that's fantastic as well.
So yeah, it looks like Gord is finally on a true push lap.
Great stuff. And maybe talk us through the lap, Hoop. I'll stay on his onboard POV.
Well, he's going over the famous section of Erosion Radion, now flying down the Kemmel Straight, getting up to nearly 205, 210 miles per hour sometimes, and a brave entry into Lacombe. Very tough corner to get right. Easy to run wide on Malby, but he handles that very well. Downhill braking zone, very easy to break up through a Rivage. But still a tidy lap here from Gord. Now heading down towards the famous Puhan corner. Probably a little bit of a lift, yep, gets down to about 25% throttle, back on the throttle to get down the hill. And then to one of my favorite corner names, this isn't the official name, but they call this Piff Paff. Let's see, we're getting a split here. Let's see where he's... Well, he's obviously 10 seconds faster than his first lap, but...
So, yeah, he's looking up there for maybe a 1:43.
And now still draining a little bit of battery. He heads through Blanchimont, and it looks like he's out of his deployment now. But it's crazy how fast these cars can go through the Blanchimont section, just keeping it flat. Out of the final bus stop chicane, and let's see what he's able to put on the board. 1:43.7.
Wow, good lap. Right up there with his teammate as well, so perhaps some fierce competition at Mercedes. Wonder if Gord saw that coming. I've actually never seen Free Guy race.
Yep, new for this season. Believe he participated in the preseason midweek race last week, so definitely has a lot of pace. Very excited to see how he does in Tier 1.
So I'm now on board with... Oh, Free Guy has retired on track. Yeah, not an ideal one. Best to go in the pits before you do that. But yeah, interesting. Because I was on board. He was shaping up for a hot lap. I have no idea what happened there. Honestly, really weird. Cannot explain that. But yeah, best to retire in the pit if possible. So we've got Mr. Bean on an out lap. We've got Joe also on a hot lap. So some podium / pole contenders gearing up. Oh, Gordsauce on his. Yeah, he's shaping up for I think a final run, but he almost actually dropped it.
Is it through that Piff Paff corner?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay. Very easy to get on that very thin curb on the inside, and that curb is not nice to race cars.
Yeah. Yeah, and certainly when it's raining as well, it's pretty treacherous. Again, I'm thinking of that Kimi Räikkönen. I'm sure it was Kimi Räikkönen who spun there. It's not like 2008. I don't know why that's coming back to me, but I think it was that famous last lap between Hamilton and Räikkönen. So I'm on board with Joe. He is sort of the first of the top 3 to begin his hot lap. Super committed.
Maybe a touch deep into Lacombe, but good to readjust through the corner.
Meanwhile, Mr. Bean, let's see how his Sector 1 time fares, and then we'll switch back. Almost identical to his previous, whereas Joe is almost, 3 tenths improved. Great effort from Joe. Martin has officially completed his qualifying session, so his 1:42.7 will be his best. And I'm just keeping an eye out for Justin as well. I haven't really mentioned him at all, but fantastic driver now in the Red Bull, competing well. Joe half a second up, it seems. This is really good. If he can keep this up, this is definitely looking like a potential battle for second place. Big credit to the Aston Martin getting out of the way there. Nice and smooth. Wow. Oh, unlucky. Just misses out. 1:42.8. Excellent lap, though. Really cements that third place. But now on board with Mr. Bean, who I believe is your pole sitter. But let's see, can he improve? Justin, though, massive apologies for missing that. What an effort from Justin. 1:43.5. Safe to say he's better at F1 than Rocket League. 1:42.0 from Mr. Bean. Exceptional lap time. That is a marker. An unbeaten marker for this session. Wow. So hats off to Mr. Bean, our pole sitter, and Craig will round off this session with a slightly aborted lap, but a 1:44.5, still a solid lap time. Very, very competitive actually. A lot of drivers with high 43s or low 44s. But there we go. That is your qualifying session over and done with. Let's take you through the order. So Mr. Bean, as I said earlier, he is your pole sitter in the Williams with a 1:42.0. Martin, a new driver coming in, I think officially for the Sunday tier, sets a 1:42.7. His reward is second place. And Joe, wow, stepping up immediately with a 1:42.8 and third place. That rounds off your top 3. And then Justin, big shout out, missed the lap, but fourth place. Free Guy 5th. Lewicki 6th, Gord 7th, Noob 8th, Marchena 9th, Rusty 10th, Lordson Rap 11th, Craig 12th, they call me Mr. DJ 13th, Ray 14th, and Tar Heels on a medium tyre rounds off the grid in 15th. So we will take typically a sort of 2 to 5 minute break, just allow the drivers to confirm their strategies on tyres and fuel amounts, and then we will have the race commence.
Yep, and no formation lap for this season, so we'll hop right into it once the drivers are ready to go. Since there is no formation lap, I did want to hop in to talk about strategy real quick, since we won't have the opportunity during the formation lap. Uh, Thinking that all the tires, all the compounds are free game today, so could definitely see a soft medium strategy or a soft hard or medium soft. I think all three compounds work at this track somehow. You would think that the degradation would be too high at Spa with it being
Yeah.
such a long racetrack, but some of the practice runs, the softs last a good 10 laps, so could definitely see some start on the softs to get a good getaway. Could definitely see some get on the mediums for the flexibility that middle compound offers. Or maybe if you're feeling kind of bold, get on the hards and see how long you can run them. But probably not the hards due to the. Oh,
Here we go, lights out, away we go. We are gone. But yes, good insights there. Let's take a look at the tyres. But great start from Mr. Bean. The two McLarens going side by side. And we have Free Guy on the inside. Joe slightly runs it into Martin, but that's okay. Avoids the contact too severely. Rusty up, into 7th place. But not too many changes in the order. Marchena's struggling a little bit. There's a V-Cub, on the grass slightly with 2 wheels. But that's okay. Great action, great shots going through here. Everyone keeping it nice and clean. So great start to the season so far. As I say that, there's a couple of cars almost in the barrier on the main straight, but they're okay.
Get the esports line. Oh no!
Something happened there, involving a front wing, I believe.
Yeah, I saw some debris fly.
And Gord is something's happened there. No, it was Free Guy running onto the gravel. So he's going to drop in many places. That's a shame. But the top 5 looking quite steady. Good opening lap. No one has spun to the back. No one is in real trouble. I mean, yeah, Free Guy slightly running onto the gravel. I think probably just got slightly bedded onto that curb. But yeah, good racing.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. I think Ray has some damage on his front wing. Missing an input.
Good spot. Yeah. Maybe it was him.
Some debris.
Yeah, it looked like a massive crash in the distance, but maybe it was just the end plate flying off and some lockup smoke. Joe's done a great job, because I was going to say that Mr. Bean's already opened up a 1-second lead, but Joe has reined it in. As I say that, though, it's slightly changed. Let's have a look. I don't think anyone's quite close enough to make a move yet. DRS not activated until the beginning of lap number 3.
No, that is actually, DRS is available this lap.
Oh, sorry, I'm speaking nonsense. Yes, available now on lap 2. And Marchena has just got past Craig. So yes, sorry, DRS will be available now. And let's see what happens. Already Godsource trying to get past Justin into 4th place. So solid drive, and Martin as well getting past his teammate. I'm sure they will not contest too much. Both fairly straightforward DRS moves. They've got to try and work together to not allow Mr. Bean to escape already on lap 2 of 22. Not many laps around this super long and amazing Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Each sector almost requiring a different sort of balance. So you'll see many different strategies. Some drivers super high top speed, making moves in DRS through sector 1. Oh, Gord running a little bit wide there, but it'll be okay. Others going for this downforce strategy to make sure they can really keep the pressure on through sector 2, and then hoping that DRS will still get them past sort of into either sector 3 or normally sector 1. But it's a tall order to run a higher downforce strategy here. Marchena and Free Guy trying to get back up through the order, of course, with that slight mistake. Didn't see exactly what happened. I think he just ran wide. But already all over the back of Marchena. I think he's going to make a move through the bus stop. No, backs out of that one. Marchena covers that off.
Yeah, Free Guy starting on the hard compound, so possibly contributes to his fall early. But Marchena on the soft, so able to use that better compound to be aggressive in the opening laps.
Yeah, and apologies. Let me actually look at the tyres. I was so busy I never got round to it. So yeah, absolutely. Free Guy and Mr. DJ on hards. The top 3 on mediums. Most runners on mediums, but you called it really well there, Hoop. I mean, Gord, Rusty, Marchena, and Ray all on the soft tyre. Joe getting back past his teammate. That's kind of to be expected at this point. I think they'll just sort of DRS train each other along. But the more important battle, Noob getting past Lewicki and now into, or almost into the back of Rusty. So quite an interesting battle for 6th place. I'm going to jump on with Gord real quick because he's made up some good progress through Sector 2.
I was going to say, I was expecting for him to be super aggressive in these first couple of laps going on the soft compound, but he did not have a very good qualifying. He did not start where I expected him to start, at least. And he's probably the only driver that can take it to Mr. Bean in this race, so he's got to get through the McLarens very quickly.
Well said, and all the drivers conserving battery quite nicely, has to be said. But Gord just minding his time, doesn't need to do anything right now. But a nice entry and good traction through this final bus stop chicane will help. You can see Mr. Bean just flying off there in the distance. Oh, safety car. What's happened? Mr. DJ out.
Like, yeah, Dr. J must have hit something on the front stretch. Did not quite get to him in time to see what happened, but some contact and we get a full safety car.
Apologies if I called him TJ as well. Every time.
It's like, come on, put some respect on his name. He's a doctor, Lucas. He earned that degree.
Certainly there's no degree available for racing drivers. It doesn't seem too transferable. So lap 4, and I think, yeah, as you kind of alluded to earlier, Hoop, this is where, I mean, traditionally this is kind of the reason you don't typically start on a hard tyre, because it already compromises you somewhat, assuming there are no further safety cars, because if you're on a hard tyre now, just in case people don't know, it's absolutely fine, you have to run at least 2 different compounds throughout the race. So if you start on the hard, you need to then really put on a set of mediums or softs. Can a medium get to the end? Probably can, but it won't be too quick at the end. Whereas the runners on soft tyres, they'll be more than happy to switch, and I mean the medium tyres, if they want to, they can. So yeah, it's all about that flexibility. But certainly, yeah, Free Guy on the hard won't be too pleased. At least that's my opinion on that one. So yeah, Mr. Bean into the pit. I would expect almost every single runner to follow.
Yeah, might as well go on the hards, and they could probably get you to the end without feeling too terrible. But if they do, then there's enough time. Something else could happen. You turn this into a 2-stop race.
Yeah, and Free Guy doing I think the correct thing, staying on the hard tyre, because you never know, there could be another safety car, and if there is, you have essentially gained track position, depending on obviously the exact lap it comes out and under what circumstances. But yeah, you might as well turn that situation to your advantage, staying out. Noob and Lewicki staying on the medium tyre though, that's an interesting play. Let's just take a little look at the positions gained. I know they're running a little bit lower down. So yeah, Noob up 7, Lewicki up 4. So yeah, I can definitely understand the logic there by all concerned. I think Martin, not ideal coming out in P10. I think he's a little bit behind where he would like to be, so didn't come off too well from this. But it has at least allowed drivers such as Tar Hills, Craig, and Ray, and so on to catch back up, which is great. Let's just double check. I think most drivers now on the hard tyre. So yeah, everyone on the hard except for the top 2 who decided not to pit, and then Free Guy. I wonder if the safety car will come in this lap. I don't think it will, but I mean, everyone has already caught up, so a very slick and efficient rejoining of the order.
Yeah, it's not like the pack was spread out in the first place, and now with everyone pitting it, hopefully it comes in this lap. It'd be a very long lap under yellow.
Let's just go back up through the order. So Noob leading. Going through, I think, Stavelot. I actually once spectated? Yeah, watched a race from Stavelot. It's a nice little grandstand there. There was a DJ playing some obnoxious European sort of dance music the whole part of the race. It's good what they do though. There's like a really nice big screen opposite, so you can genuinely follow the race. It's not just like you only see Stavelot corner.
Right. I imagine if any track it's tough to see the entire track, it would be Spa-Francorchamps. So
yeah, and walking from Stavelot up to the paddock is genuinely like it. Yeah, you burn some calories. You realise just how much of a hill there is climbing up through sort of Blanchimont, and you can walk alongside. And it's very wooded around the outskirts as well. Also, it normally rains at least half the weekend, so the mud levels are quite something.
Right. It's I'm surprised that it's not raining today in Spa for us to get a wet race. But...
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that the safety car, I don't know how it's programmed, so this is something where I should really learn more about the game, but I think it has a minimum duration. So I'm not too surprised, actually, that it's going around again. But I think we're 100% certain it will come in at the end of this lap.
Just going back through the field, it looks like Ray still has some front wing damage, so that wasn't able to be fixed on his pit stop. So that's unfortunate, running at the back and also with damage. Just a quick something to note.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate. And yeah, too late now to pit again. And also being on the hard tyre, I can see why he'd just make do. That's crazy unfortunate. The first thing I always do in any race is go into that toggle. Well, after sort of lap 1 chaos, go into the toggle and switch the wing change from auto to yes. Because I think, well, my opinion is the auto is not too smart.
No, the threshold is too high. Like it has to be red for the game to be like, oh yes, you should change your wing. Plenty of incidents with that for sure.
Yeah, shame that you can't dynamically adjust that threshold. That would be quite an easy setting to add. But what do I know? I don't write code for computer games. I do write code though. Safety car in this lap.
There we go.
So the question will be, well, new 5-lap-old mediums, they should still be they should be faster, would you expect, than the fresh hards?
It's going to be very close. Also considering the pace that Mr. Bean has, it is going to be very close. Considering 2 laps of those 5 were under a safety car, then they should be in pretty good shape, but they're going to have to put up a hell of a defense.
Yeah, great insight. So Noob is waiting for the safety car to come in. I'm guessing he's going to go full beans straight on exit, and he does. So there we go, we're underway. Free guy a little bit slow to rejoin, and that has allowed Mr. Bean already to get onto the back of him. But otherwise, pretty standard restart. Quite an easy restart around Spa, has to be said, because of the great location of that final chicane. But yeah, Lewicki, closing up towards the back of Noob. But Noob is your race leader. And yeah, Mr. Bean already alongside. He's going to burn the battery. He is not messing around. Lewicki, though, as well on the inside. And gets past comfortably Noob in the end before the braking zone. So 2 little moves there. Martin as well, trying to make up for lost time getting past Marchena. A slight lock up as well. Let's go back up to the top. So Mr. Bean now already closing in on Noob and Luiki. So I think the question would be how he gets past, or when he gets past these 2 medium runners. Will he go for the move? Surely not through Puon. Slightly different line to Noob. Perhaps trying to break the dirty air. Trying to almost bluff Noob into a defensive move. Noob is not being fooled by that. And Marchena as well, staying all over the back of Martin, who did overtake him this lap. Nice solid driving from Luiki so far though, out in front. And Joe as well closing up towards the back. So this is a nice battle. Oh, free guy has to, I think, abort his braking because he locked up a little bit and he's lost a couple of positions. His team had to run slightly wide to evade, but that's okay. Rejoins comfortably into 6th place. And Mr. Bean just missed, but dived down the inside very last second there. But great move from Mr. Bean. And rather snatches 2nd place from Noob. I don't think Noob was quite expecting that move. And Craig has overtaken Tar Heels as well. This is going to be quite chaotic down here. But here we... Oh! Okay, a bit of lag, because I saw something very odd on my screen for a second there. But Mr. Bean gets past, and Luiki... Sorry, Noob also gets past Luiki. So 2 position drops for Luiki. That's unfortunate.
Strong. Yeah, super strong DRS down the Kemmel Straight. So, Luiki, really nothing he could do into Lacombe after just the overspeed that the other 2 drivers have on him.
Yeah, so Mr. Bean now on hard tyres, but back out in front, gets the job done. Do you know, I can see the logic, though, from Noob and Luiki staying out. I mean, obviously time will tell, but traditionally there can be a couple of safety cars around here, even on a half-distance race. So I can definitely see the logic. But as it stands, I think Joe and Gord, as those mediums start to wear, they should get more and more into this race. But a bit like with both Joe and Gord, they need to clear these 2 as soon as possible. They can't allow Mr. Bean to escape. I mean, he has already escaped the DRS zone of Noob, which is a little bit unfortunate for them. Yeah, Joe interestingly also keeping 3rd gear through that final chicane, turns I think 19 and 20. Wow, yeah, big traction difference there between Joe and Luiki. I think he's going to get the move done into Eau Rouge and Radion, but let's see, he might have to back out. Yeah, backs out sensibly. That's a scary place to try and overtake. But will, of course, get DRS. Oh! A little bit of confusion between where to go. And that may well have actually saved Luiki. Oof.
Wow, super brave from Joe there on the brakes. That was very, very close, but kept it clean.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful move. And good from Noob as well to be aware of the 2 drivers. It's always scary when you get overtaken both sides. And yeah, Mr. Bean now 2 seconds clear in front. Big shout out to Justin. I'm not really showing him enough actually at the moment, it seems, so far this season, but running in 7th, very solid, keeping up with Free Guy. I think those 3 drivers, 5th through 7th and 8th actually as well, have all got some good pace. So perhaps as a unit they need to just work together a little bit and try and work their way up past, I think, Noob and ultimately Luiki as well. And try and put pressure on Joe. So just looking at your, first of all, no drivers with penalties, which is always good on lap 9 of 22. And position change wise, I mean, Luiki up 4, of course, not pitting. Mr. Bean and Joe maintaining their initial positions. Gord up 2, and then in terms of slight losers, I mean, Justin's down 3, Martin's down 6. Weirdly, actually, 9th through 14th are all where they started, except for Tar Heels in 13th. So that's actually quite surprisingly quite static, all things considered.
Yeah, and the time gaps are rather considerable too, so everyone's just kind of spread out near the back of the field.
So this is a game of battery usage in this DRS train, and Noob is going to go for the very late move. It's going to be tough to maintain. Yeah, it's always tough. I think Joe may slightly have cut the corner. Might get a warning. But yeah, great defending. You can defend around the outside there, and it works quite well. So you have to be super committed on the inside. There's nothing more annoying than burning your battery just coming up short to that braking zone and realizing that they have the outside line. Yeah, Lewicki, our first penalty receiver. Slightly unfortunate, but still running in second place, doing a good job of defending. Is building up the gap to Mr. Bean, but from his perspective, that's absolutely fine. I'm just riding on board with Marchena as well. It's nice to view some of the runners slightly lower down the order, putting a lot of pressure on Rusty, who's of course in the kick Sauber. And I have missed an overtake between Gord and Noob through Blanchimont. That is an interesting one. Didn't quite see what happened there.
Yeah, Gord finally getting to the back of that group, and now he has to pick through. Looks like
Oh.
Noob heading to the pits.
So maybe his mediums are done, and he has decided to go on the soft tyre? No, he's going on the hard tyre. Okay. Interesting. So he will rejoin, I think, in 14th. Yeah, back of the pack, I believe. Yep, Ray comfortably gets past as well. But anyway, back up to the front, because I think Joe is going to quite comfortably get past Lewicki and take second place. And then Gord should end up closing in. Yep, he also had DRS. Justin with a great move on Free Guy. Almost missed that one. Really good pace from Justin. I mean, talking about these Tier 2 drivers, and earlier on in qualifying, you know, airing some of the worries certain drivers and people have over perhaps split pace. But, I mean, I'm seeing some great Tier 2 drivers stepping up here and really performing well.
Yeah, and Justin was that guy last year making the jump into Tier 1 and really showing off the pace that he has, being competitive in the upper midfield. So, ready to see who the Justin of this season is. It certainly looks like Joe early on.
Yeah. I mean, early days, but it seems to me like Justin may have actually elevated his pace even more. I'm definitely interested to see what Martin has. I think you were saying he's done a couple of races as a reserve, I think you were saying earlier.
No, Martin is the driver who joined the server today, as far as I know. So
apologies. No, you're right. Sorry, I confused
fresh.
them. Yeah, well, this, if anything, this is very good from him, and this is amazing to see for the Performance Racing League. Almost, as I say that though, does break a bit late and run into the back of a driver. VSC, I think Free Guy will have to give the place back to Martin. Was that overtake done? We'll wait and see. I think that the move happened after VSC came out. We'll see.
And the VSC is, it looks like Noob lost it through Stavilo. So on his fresh tires, I think he picked up some damage. So definitely not an ideal lap or two for Noob plays.
Okay. Did that impact on Marchena, are you saying?
I am not sure, but it looks like Marchena's the one. Oh, we've lost a couple of guys.
Oh, Lewicki. What happened to Lewicki? Whoa!
Into the...
Yeah, if you can see my onboard. Well, the car's now disappeared. Yeah, I just saw a Lewicki crash right next to the safety car.
Can you crash into the safety car in this game?
I don't think so. Maybe it appeared and spooked him, and he ran into the wall. That is chaotic. No idea. That's very unexpected. I mean, commiserations to Lewicki, you know, running a very good race. Did the right thing, in my opinion, going onto the soft tyre, not the hard tyre. But yeah, that is really unfortunate. And Gordsource has received a 3-second penalty under VSC. Genuinely.
Hey, it happens. You kind of zone out because you're not really racing, and you go over the track limits under VSC. It's super embarrassing, but it happens. And Gord's gonna be upset at himself for that one, but he's still in he's still in a good position to have a good result. So
Yeah. So
kind of
interestingly,
wild that sorry, that Loecki and Noob, they go from leading the race on the restart for safety car, and now have DNF'd or spun after their pit stop. So this game can humble you very quickly.
oh wow, top three going into the pits. Is something broken with the game? Because I saw the safety car right so the safety car's not moved. Loeki was crashed in the wall adjacent to the safety car. It still says VSC on our screens. Everyone's pitting, which would only normally happen if there was a safety car. Um, yeah, and now Martin is following the safety car on hard tires that are 8 laps old. I'm guessing it's full safety car, or is this just on my screen? Are you seeing that as well?
Now, I'm also seeing a VSC banner, but it looks like everyone's gathering up behind the safety car. I wonder if it was a VSC initially, and then, I don't know, when Marchena DNF'd, then they brought out the safety car. I don't know what exactly happened, but
Yeah, you're gonna hate
yeah,
me for saying
definitely
this, but I think Lewicki is the key to this puzzle when he binned it into the wall.
Oh man, and yeah, we're some people in the chat asking, is the lobby broken? It says VSC, but it's a full safety car. So hopefully it resolves itself once the safety car. Hopefully the safety car decides to get off the track at some point. That'd be a real issue if not.
Oh, it's good to hear that the drivers are reporting it at least says the correct full safety car for them. They might as well commentate at this point. Wow, this is really not only split the pack slightly, it's just changed strategies. Very wide variety of tires in play. Medium may be the best. I know you're saying the softs can last 10 laps. I wonder how ideal they are towards the end.
If they're going to go 10 laps, then I guess it's best for them to do 10 laps at the end with the lighter car. The wear really wasn't too bad when I was doing some of the practice races. The softs go 4.5% wear per lap, so you're not even hitting 50% wear after 10 laps. So they can leave yourself in a very good position. I think obviously the loser here is Martin on the 8 lap old hards, but kind of zigging while everyone else zags. Maybe it works out for him.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit stuck in traffic for long periods of the race, so I can see the idea behind it, and I'm hoping that he isn't seeing the VSC banner, or that I'm hoping that wasn't the reason. Is this Mika Hakkinen? Ramsey, I'm guessing that's the throwback to that double overtake move. I think it was with Schumacher, and I forget the driver that got swarmed by both of them. I can't remember, but I think that's what he's referring to. That was a long time ago.
And in our Discord chat, it's Marchena saying his dog jumped in his lap, and that was the cause of his DNF. So some things just out of your control.
Yeah. And I imagine that if he was to, say, put the dog in another room and close the door, you'd probably find the dog is barking the entirety of the race. That is one way I remember someone in PRL many years ago, or at least 2 years ago, they their wheel broke as they went into the pits, and then when they left the pit, they turned right, and obviously the wheel didn't turn, like it didn't respond, so they just went straight into the barrier and lost a front left wheel. That was very unfortunate. I forget who that was, but
Well, even late last season, in I believe Tier 2, we had a driver at Baku did not turn left, as you know, as the at
yeah.
Baku you have to turn left immediately, but he didn't like grab the wheel quick enough as he got out of the pit lane, so he drove straight into the wall and DNF'd. So this game can weird things happen. Weird things happen.
Yeah, I definitely remember that one. So still many laps remaining. I think 7 laps remaining on safety car start. I mean, for Gord Sauce with the 3-second penalty, that it's enough laps to hopefully mitigate some of that. But with the nature of this track and the DRS zones, I mean, it will be frustrating. More so going forwards than going back, because if he overtakes drivers, ultimately they probably will stay within 3 seconds. So Gord certainly has it all to do. But anyway, the safety car is in this lap, so let's see. Martin, I assume, will now have to put his throttle down. And yeah, quite predictable.
Ooh.
Quite predictable for Mr. Bean, leaving it that late. Sometimes you want to start ramping up through the chicane, but good defending ultimately from Martin, actually.
Yeah, it almost looked like a big wobble. Mr. Bean trying to stick his nose in there, and a little wobble to discourage him from doing that.
Yeah, ultimately on those soft tyres, though, I think that was an inevitability for Martin, who is really going to struggle. Hopefully Joe is allowed to just sweep past, because I think ultimately this race is between, oh my word.
We might get a 3 wide here to Lacombe.
Mr. Bean swarmed by the McLarens. Does well, though, to actually send that through the inside of the second part of that chicane, to at least retain second place. Nice driving there. Just on board with Noob. Oof! Almost runs into the back of Lordson Rab. And Tar Heels. Oh, nice move around the outside of Ray. Very, very fancy. Oh, and yeah, Mr. Bean. Oh, this is crazy. Side-by-side action for the race lead. Wow, good racing by both of them. Mr. Bean now out in front again, but Joe did make it difficult. Oh, almost completely drops it. That will allow Martin through. That is majorly frustrating with DRS being activated soon, and Gord as well has managed to get past. Wow, that is not an ideal moment.
Joe has some damage now, missing the end plate.
Oh no, I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe that was earlier. Oh, Mr. Bean's run really wide. He's completely messed up his braking zone. I mean, it'll be a warning. And will Martin take the race lead? Will Gord take the race lead? Oh, Mr. Bean retains it. But there are so many cars within a second here. DRS enabled. Who has the battery? Who has the straight line speed? Mr. Bean's in trouble. Big, big trouble.
Oh, wow, just a swarm coming after the Williams here.
Oh, great driving from Mr. Bean. What defensive maneuvers that was. Wow. I don't know how on earth he maintained the lead there. Perhaps because it was ultimately Martin, unfortunately, I guess, in a way, was the main driver to compete with track position. But obviously he's on such worn tyres. He's a bit of a roadblock. I think any other driver... Mr. Bean definitely was not able to do that. But good intelligence, I think, by Mr. Bean to recognise that. Craig overtaking Ray as well. Good battles, actually, down the order. And they're side by side. Craig and Ray.
Yeah, Ray's still dealing with that damage. And now some of the oldest tires on the grid. And it's kind of a tough race for him now.
Yeah, but what the well said. What the battling further up the order has done is it's allowed Justin and Free Guy back in. Oh, I think someone... Was that a wing that just flew off? Or was that a number board, a yard board?
Oh, I think there's a little visual glitch right there through Blanchimont, because every time I've gone through the camera in that area, it looks like a little like puff of particles. It looks like somebody crashes, but it's not really there.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying, because I was so confused.
Definitely not a broken game.
Well, Joe is... Yeah, as I say, so Joe's missing an end plate, which is, yeah, rather unfortunate. So I think let's see how that affects him. At least he's on the soft tyre, though. Gord Sauce will be trying to get clear of both these McLarens, but this is insane. Yeah, Joe back in front. It really is coming down to, at this point, battery levels and just top-line speed. Justin, though, massive shout-out. And I was watching that. Didn't want to comment until afterwards, but that was a fantastic move on Martin through the chicane. And that looked like an end plate. Yep, that was an end plate. Gord has lost his front left end plate. I think he braked a little bit too late and slightly went into the back of Joe. So we now have so Gord is missing his front left end plate and Joe's missing his front right. Just trying to think. So most of the corners turn. I wonder if you can work out which way's worse.
Oh, we got a car around.
Yeah, good recovery though. Saw that in the background. Great save from Martin. So maintaining P6, but I mean these tyres, it's just so difficult for him. He must have been pushing to the limit just to even compete up there. I mean, honestly, I think he should be happy with his performance. Really good stuff. Wow, what a race this is turning into. I mean, I know it's not for the lead, but for second place. Mr. Peen setting a lovely 1:44.6. Wow. That is a rapid lap for a race pace car. Will be on low fuel.
Yeah, and everything's kind of worked out for him now with the closest contenders have picked up 3-second penalties and wing damage and the whole shebang. So he should just run away with this now.
Yep. And that's a really good point about the penalties because Justin, again, massive shout out to him. No penalty, running in fourth, but really that is second place. Quite comfortably second place as they make their way down. He's just staying in there. He has no issue at all with Joe and Gord fighting. He's more than happy to just keep this bunched up. Everyone around him with penalties. He just needs to keep it clean. I just really hope no one accidentally tags him. Will he try and run it down the inside here? It sensibly backs out. Yeah, there's just no need to be aggressive. I mean, Mr. Bean now pretty much in the racing equivalent of heaven. Joe runs wide, and there's now 3 cars potentially going into this corner. And again, I think Justin will just back off.
It's just the aggression from both Gord and Joe. Already have damage, already have penalties, but they are scrapping each other just to finish ahead of each other on track.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Frigo with a great opportunistic move on Justin, maybe being a little bit too cautious actually through that chicane sections, overtaken into Stavelo. Oh, wow. And Martin, actually, to be fair on the hard tyres, has managed to catch up. That's how much fighting there's been. Oh, and there's a spinning free guy. And has that caused damage to Justin? I don't think Justin tagged him. I think it was just putting too much traction down when he was forced to take a slightly wider line. Perhaps threw him off a little bit. I think that's what happened. And Lord Senrab sends it past Martin for P5.
Yeah, Lord has quietly picked his way through the field. He started near out of the top 10, I believe, and he's picked his way up into P5, just one car at a time.
So now chaos for P5 and P7 here. 4 cars almost in a box formation. Noob is going to go for a late break move here. I can sense that one. And great move from Noob up into P6. Lord Simon had to get out of that one. Rusty overtaking Ray as well. So action all the way through the order. So Gord has managed to break over a 1-second gap to Joe.
Yeah, he could finally take a breath. 5 straight laps of them going at it with half broken cars, but he can breathe a little bit with the 1.5 gap he has.
Yeah, and I mean, Justin needs to get this move done, or at least not fight too hard, because then he is at risk of allowing Gord to escape that 3-second penalty window. And there will still be 3 laps remaining once we enter 20. So yeah, 3 laps now, including this one for our race leader. And Joe and Martin, this is absolute chaos here, but Justin is somehow maintains P4, almost got a bit swallowed up. He's been compromised though, because Martin sensibly is causing chaos for Justin, helping out his teammate in Joe. And now Noob and Lord Senrab are all in there now, but I think it's going to be probably between 3rd, 4th and 5th, so the 2 McLarens and Justin, I think, the ones to watch for now. We've got Justin on the outside just trying to straight line it. We've got Martin though, Martin on the really old hard tyres. He's managing his battery so well, and he manages to come out in front. He has now though just gained a 3-second penalty, which is so unfortunate. But seriously, what racing from a driver on worn tyres? I don't think I've actually seen a performance this good on hard tyres, like worn hard tyres, for a long time. I know they last a long time at Spa, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm aware it's an easier track for tyres. But it's more the fact that he's against drivers on mediums and softs. And he's just sticking it in there and he's holding out.
Yeah, really just the balls to be so aggressive on super old hards and make it work and not be involved in any incidents.
Yeah, and I think Justin now has fallen out of the 3-second window of Gord. So Gord is doing a great job. I know he's 10 seconds behind Mr. Bean, but he's missing an end plate, and he's making it work for him. I think if he keeps this up, 2nd place could well be his. So I think Noob and Justin now will be turning their attentions onto Martin, who was just, to be honest, completely disrupted their race. He's been an absolute pain in the neck for them. And again, I wonder, will Noob and Justin fight too hard? Because if so, it will just be a repeat in favour of Martin. I mean, they're fighting now down to turn 1. Justin makes the move, but I think Noob gets the better traction. So this could well be a little bit worrying for this group of cars from P4 down. Oh, Joe just received a penalty. So there's 3 drivers all just gained 3-second penalties at the same spot. It's almost like they all followed the same line.
And now 6th through 8th, unless this changes very quickly, all have 6-second penalties.
Yeah. I'm sure they all just gained it at the exact same time. Maybe I missed it, but I'm sure 2 of them at least just gained it through. It must have been Eau Rouge.
Yeah, pretty easy to cut on the entry to Eau Rouge. Man, it just really just turned into a huge scrap, just like an 8-person fist fight for a podium position.
Martin has come out of this unscathed. I think it has settled down a little bit now, at least for Justin and Noob. Provided they can, I mean, this is so critical for Noob to try and keep that 1-second gap. But if so, at least they are then putting that pressure on Martin as Mr. Bean now begins his final lap with an 11-second lead and no penalties. Other than Ray, though. Sorry, go on.
Something to note, we were talking about penalties, and we're starting to accrue penalties as we're on the final lap. A new rule for this season is if you get through a race without any track limits warnings, you receive, I believe it's 3 bonus points.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
So
I missed the memo.
Even if you receive a strike on track limits, you do not receive those points. But if you get through an entire race with no track limits incidents, then you get some bonus points. Quite a few drivers through the field not receiving those points today, but it'll be interesting to see who has come out unscathed.
So here we go, the final DRS Sector 1 zone, and Noob gets the move done on Justin. Let's follow these 2 through. Remember, they don't have penalties. Not sure about warnings. I think I did see Noob cut a corner once, But this is a real fight for position. Justin all over the back of Noob. Oh, it's going to be intense. In theory, Noob should be able to hold out, but battery and other things can come into play here.
And Noob, just a really good defensive driver as he goes to the outside into Lacombe.
Yeah, a yellow flag, Ray spins. That's okay. I think Justin and Noob, it's a difficult one because if these two fight too hard, suddenly Martin jumps both of them. Oh no, Joe spun into Craig. Oh wow, that was so close. I don't know how on earth Joe did not DNF running into the wall there, but he survives. Now I think Justin has to go for the move, but I have a feeling Martin's going to jump them both, you know. I think they may have shot. I think, oh wow, Noob's going to come off pretty badly here, I think. Great move by Justin. I mean, great racing instincts, but I think he then just falls out of that 3 second. So yeah, apologies for catching the top, but we had to stay really firmly on track there for those runners going through the order. I think now a bit of normality, and obviously the penalties being applied. So yeah, great race by Mr. Beam, great win. Congratulations on that. And Gord and Martin, I mean, incredible drives to solidify those podium places, given the chaos and the damage. I mean, Martin, that was a fantastic performance. Not only racing on the sort of the inconvenient, let's say, tyre that was worn, but actually managed to break a 3 second buffer as well. Then Justin, with that great move at the end, takes fourth. So I mean, just great racing all round. It has to be said. Didn't really see anything bad. I think Joe and Craig on the last lap was a bit sketchy. I think Joe will be super frustrated with that, but I mean, he saved it from the barrier, which was very impressive.
It kind of turned into a disaster for him at the end, but he was able to bring the car home in one piece for the most part.
Wow, and some very unrealistic dance moves. Yeah, take us through the order, Hoop. What a race.
Yeah, Mr. Bean running away with this one, grabbing P1 from pole. Gord fighting his way through the field to finish P2, and Martin hangs on to a podium position in third. Justin and Noob kind of fall out at the end of a possible podium spot, but they're fourth and fifth. Craig in sixth, Tar Heels seventh, Rusty eighth, Free Guy in ninth, and Joe tumbling down to 10th at the end. Lord Sunrab in 11th, Ray handling 12th, and then some DNFs down the field with Loecki, Marchena, and I'm getting an error message, so I didn't see who's 15th.
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
No worries. Let's have a look. So, our race winner, he did receive a corner cutting warning, so there's no 3 bonus points for him. There you go.
So nearly flawless race for him.
Yeah, I think room for improvement is what I would say to Mr. Bean there. that's 3 points wasted. No, great race. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. This was round 1 of season 12, so brand new season for PRL, the Performance Racing League. Your commentators today, Lucasade and Hoop. Thank you so much, Hoop. As always, really amazing to have you alongside. And to everyone else, hope you have a great week and hopefully see you again in 7 days' time.